Count the number of words in 2 lines. A number of words in 2 lines. Thank you.
Apologies for those with the magazines. We shouldn't get to the library, so maybe tricky with the magazines.
We'll adapt, you still get the point. All right, number of words in 2 lines divided by 2 to give you the average number of words per line. It's going to work with the magazine as well, so don't worry. Now, before we go any further, there is only one person I would love you to compare yourself with tonight. Who is that? Yourself. Yeah. There's going to be different rates around the room. It's where you end up your A and B that I'm interested, not the person next to you. Okay, I am going to count you down from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom, we'll start. Good old-fashioned stopwatch here. And then we'll work out how many words per minute you really read by counting the number of lines multiplied by the numbers of words per line. So you counted the words in 2 lines, divided by 2 to get an average words per line. That's your score. We'll count the number of lines, and we'll see if we were living in fantasy land. I feel a fantasy coming on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. That was a minute. So that's your words per minute.
Can we include where there's 2 words in there? How do we work out this?
It's only a general rule of thumb, so be gentle with yourself. So just to encourage an old man here, how many of you read more than you thought you were going to read? That's usually what we discover. That's good. The really brilliant news is I looked around the room and I can help all of you because most of you stopped learning to read when you were 6. You moved on to comprehension and appreciation of literature, but the actual physical muscle activity, the activity of reading, had no further training after about age 6. So who's happy to go back to being a 6-year-old? Can I see your tongues? That's excellent. That's what 6-year-olds do. Because when you were 6, you read with your finger. And we're going to explain how that was such a powerful tool. But of course, we're all grown up now, so we're not allowed to read with our finger. We will be reading the martial art of reading, speed reading, with either the power of steel or the power of wood tonight. And you will be taking one of these away. And if I ever see you again, you will get the partner of it. You'll have to come back. Very good for hair. Fantastic. So they'll be coming around in a minute. Now what I'd like you to do is imagine between us there is a huge book. So it's like that. Would you take that finger and draw in space at the speed you think your eye moves, the way your eye reads a book? So in other words, lots of words on the page. Is it smooth? Is it free form? Is it a submarine? I don't know. Now have a look around as well, because this is good fun. I have to say there's a lot of smoothies in the room. Can't say there's any jerks in the room, that would be rude. Okay. Excellent. And that's why I started with the sayings about Fantasyland, because most of you are living in Fantasyland. That is not how your eyes move. How can I be so bold? I can be so bold because of Sesame Street. Now, many of you are far too young to remember those Muppets on Sesame Street, but it was one of the most powerful educational programs ever. And it nearly failed. Because the psychologists, can I just hear a little boo for the psychologists? Boo. Thank you very much. That was a little boo, that was nice. The psychologist said, you can't put puppets with people, you'll confuse the children. So the pilot of Sesame Street had the adults and the children playing separately to the puppets. And they used eye-tracking cameras, which they use for adverts, to see where the children were watching the screen. So this is how you test the effectiveness of an advert, but you can also test the effectiveness of a program. And what happened was, when the puppets came on the screen and the eye-tracking cameras were there, the kids would go, It was totally absorbing. And when the parents and the kids came on the screen, the kids went. And so they put the real people with the real puppets on screen, and Sesame Street was saved and highly successful. And so they use that to track people's eyes when they read. And you're going to be a tracking camera for your partner now. So I'm going to get it into pairs in a moment, but I have to give you a little bit of a warning. Over the next couple of exercises, people have fallen in love. And I don't think we've actually signed those release forms, have we? So this is a highly dangerous martial art of speed reading. So choose your partner carefully. And you need to face each other. I don't think we've got the space to move the chairs around, but so you can see each other face to face. Good pumping music gets your body clock working at a pace. So if you can work with music in the background, and not everybody can, I understand that, but that's the final hack. Having fast-paced music at a critical level, it's usually quite low volume, it's enough to get your heart rate up, your brain waves going 100 miles per hour. And then we take a break every 45 minutes. I think we've got it. I think we've got it. So might I just go back to the memory thing, just so we've embedded that as well. I use 5 principles to make anything stick. Do you remember your vowels? A. Fantastic. All memory systems work on those 5 principles, the 5 vowels of memory. A for association. So you need to find a link. Have you ever played the number plate game where you remembered somebody's number plate by the initials they remind you of, or a word you could make with the initials? Have you done that? Some of you, yes. Have you ever remembered a phone number by the pattern on the phone pad? So you've made an association. Have you ever remembered somebody's name because it reminds you of something? Lex. So sometimes I introduce myself as Lex, as in Luther. And then they know they're in trouble. So association is the operating system of your brain. If you think about it, neuron is associating and connecting and linking with neuron to make a pattern. Thank you very much, folks. I've really enjoyed tonight. I hope it's been useful for you as well. I have to say, you are going to get more. So we'll make sure you get some summary of this so that you can integrate your learning. And I will hand back to Chris. Except there has to be an upsell. Doesn't there? Do you think I like doing what I do? Was that a bit obvious? I found these on eBay for $14.75 plus £2 postage and packing. If you fancy coming on a whole day workshop where we do colouring in, a technique called mind mapping. So we want to find out whether it's worth us running a whole day on the skills that enable you to get what you've read, sticking in your head, and then working for you in the real world. And the technique is mind mapping. This is a live one from earlier today when we had our meeting. So you'll get one of those pencil cases full of coloured pens. We'll have music and fun in a great location. We just need to know if you're interested. So Christian is going to gather that. It wasn't a hard sell, was it? It wasn't a hard sell. Thank you, mate.